Yeah, I don't think anybody can really say that because I actually marvel at how much he's improved. You know, he's improved. He's been through trials and tribulation where he's been knocked down, where he's been called that he doesn't have no heart, where he's been said that, you know, he won't make it, but he's proved everybody wrong. Big fight. Terence "Bud" Crawford brings a lot to the table. 38.
Legendary boxers can't hide their frustration over Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, and the debate is spreading fast through boxing. Carl Froch, a former world champion and one of the loudest voices in British boxing, almost exploded with anger when this matchup was announced. He flat out called it a joke, and when Froch talks, it carries weight. He's been in real wars at the top level, so he knows the difference between a real fight and a circus act. Eddie Hearn, one of the most powerful promoters in the sport, piled on too. He didn't just question the fight, he questioned Davis himself, saying Tank might be chasing a quick paycheck instead of protecting his name as one of the sport's best. When two powerful voices like Froch and Hearn speak up, it hits harder because it backs what fans were already thinking. This fight looks like business, not sport. Froch came at it from the fighter's view, blasting matchups like this as disrespectful to boxing tradition and its champions. Hearn, on the other hand, came at it from a business side, saying Davis says choice shows how money now matters more than legacy. Together, their words were a reality check. Boxing is slipping further into being pure entertainment, where hype makes more money than competition. For once, promoter and fighter agreed, and that rare unity put the spotlight on a bigger problem about how the sport is being reshaped.
405. 405.
In another corner of the sport, Lamont Roach Jr. jumped in and made it personal. He accused Davis of ducking him just to cash in on Jake Paul, calling the move cowardly and a betrayal of real competition. His anger wasn't just about wanting a rematch. It was about being robbed by a system that lets fake matchups steal headlines while legit contenders get ignored.
Who's gonna win July 29th? Errol Spence, Terence Crawford.
Big fight. Terence "Bud" Crawford brings a lot to the table. 38.
When a reigning champ chases spectacle instead of a real challenger, the belts themselves lose value. Roach's rage echoed what a lot of fighters feel, grinding day and night for their shot, only to watch social media stars cut the line. His frustration begged the question, how can boxing keep its fans if it doesn't respect merit? For fans who follow rankings and respect the grind, Roach's anger made sense. He showed this fight isn't just a personal letdown, it's a slap in the face to the entire sport.
8 wins, 38 knockouts. You would never expect him to be knocking out the people that he's been knocking out, but he does it in great fashion. You know, he's elusive.
Shakur Stevenson, another rising star, voiced the same doubt but kept it more measured.
He moves well. He doesn't get hit, and if he gets hit, he gets back at you. Yep. And then I look at Errol Spence, he's a martial artist too, and when I hear him talk...
Unlike Roach, Stevenson didn't go off, but he made it clear that Davis' choice left serious fighters disgusted. He once had hopes of facing Davis himself, but with Tank chasing spectacle, that door slammed shut. Instead of spitting fire, Stevenson sounded disappointed, like greatness had been taken off the table. He even said if Davis was gone, he'd just aim for other elite names like Teofimo Lopez to keep his career meaningful.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real.
This highlighted a crucial truth. Not every fighter rants. Some quietly adapt. Stevenson's calm but stinging response showed how one money fight can ripple out and reshape multiple careers. His disappointment balanced Roach fury, proving this backlash isn't just bitterness, it's about protecting legacy. Between Roach's anger and Stevenson's regret, the emotional range of fighters left in Tank's wake was on full display.
You know, he's saying he's going to knock out Bud Crawford. A lot of people say they're going to knock out Bud Crawford, and he says that. So I know that his mindset, he just got in an...
British heavyweight Dave Allen didn't sugarcoat it either. He said a fight like Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis should never happen unless both men were retired. Seeing one of the best pound-for-pound lightweights waste his talent on Paul, to him, that was nothing short of embarrassing.
Accident, and he got thrown from a car and he lived. So that, to me, that's a sign. A sign that he's bound for...
Allen added that if it was a real pro fight under proper rules, Davis would crush Paul without breaking a sweat. But what really bothered him was the circus act this matchup represents.
Great things.
Spence Crawford is going to be a very, very tight fight. The one thing we can say is definitely watch it.
Yeah. Oh, fight of the century.
Simon Jordan, the outspoken TalkSport pundit, ripped into the fight too, mocking it as a load of old fanny, just a cheap stunt for attention, not a real sparring contest. Together, Allen and Jordan highlighted the awkward truth. Boxing is becoming the cringe act where clown shows steal the spotlight. They warned this fight isn't some fresh experiment. It's an insult to the sport's principles. At this point, the question isn't should this fight be criticized. It's how is it ever even allowed?
I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out.
Ryan Garcia didn't hold back either. When the news broke, he blasted it as a disgrace, pointing at the obvious size difference between Davis and Paul. For Garcia, it wasn't just about the mismatch, it was personal. He wanted a rematch with Davis to redeem his first career loss, and instead Tank ran to Jake Paul for payday. To Garcia, that was more than just a misfight. It was a betrayal of the contenders who actually deserve these big stages.
To Amir Khan, to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not.
Kovalev was...
Emiliano Vargas, son of ex-champion Fernando Kid Vargas, kept it short but cutting. His stunned reaction, just wow, said it all. For him, and many others, this wasn't just disappointment. It felt like Davis was throwing away his credibility as a champion just to chase a quick buck. For Garcia, it felt like betrayal. For Vargas, it was pure embarrassment. Together, their reactions captured the sting. Boxing's old values being sold off of social media hype.
He does, don't get me wrong, he does have a lot of power. But all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me.
Then came Terence Crawford, the undisputed king, and his words hit like a knockout punch. He mocked the officiating, saying, "I've never seen someone take a knee and it's not called a knockdown. Must have forgot the rules tonight." Coming from Crawford, a 4-division champ who embodies discipline and legacy, this wasn't just a complaint, it was a warning shot. His single line exposed what's rotten. When rules aren't followed, the sport loses credibility. His authority turned one tweet into a moral hammer, reminding everyone that boxing isn't just about punches, it's about fairness and respect for the rules.
Those fighters, the skill level is night and day.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo going?
A tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always had respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills.
Spencer Oliver came at it from another angle. He called Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis a flat-out freak show. Sure, He admitted Paul has brought attention and even helped spotlight women's boxing. But this was parody-level matchmaking. He even warned that if Paul ever went near Anthony Joshua, it would be a suicide mission. His point was sharp. These circus fights might make money, but they destroy boxing's integrity and endanger fighters. Oliver's voice stood out because it wasn't hate for Paul. It was love for the sport and fear that boxing is trading merit for cheap spectacle.
Do you feel that Terence has a shot in beating Canelo Alvarez?
That's the million-dollar question. When I watched Terence Crawford get rattled and rocked by Yorkis Gamboa, who's a natural 30-pounder, that
Crawford's role in all this made the debate even heavier. He isn't just a champion. He's the first male fighter to be undisputed in 2 weight divisions in the 4-belt era. He's built his career on discipline, skill, and respect for tradition. So when he criticizes bad officiating or calls out weak matchmaking, it isn't whining, it's a standard. Crawford represents boxing at its purest, and his words pull the whole debate back to legacy and principle. Alongside him, veteran journalist Dan Raphael added his voice. With decades covering the sport, Raphael hammered home the same message. Bad judging and circus fights are killing boxing. His commentary wasn't just opinion. It was a plea for course correction, a warning from someone who's watched the sport drift toward a circus. Together, Crawford and Raphael reminded fans what boxing is supposed to stand for: fairness, merit, and legacy.
to me, is going to be a huge problem when he gets hit by Canelo. So he fights at 175. He's fighting these big monsters. Yeah. He's not getting rattled at all.
Rising heavyweight David Adelai also jumped in, stunned this fight was even happening. To him, the size difference was insane, calling it just mad, really. As a pro who lives under strict weight and matchup rules, he saw this as total disrespect. To bypass those rules for a circus act wasn't just wrong, it was dangerous. His disbelief showed how even young fighters see this as a betrayal of the sport's credibility. To Adelai, this wasn't entertainment, it was malpractice.
It'd be even better. So I think both of them come together and always have a good fight. And it's a great fight for the fans as well.
Eddie Hearn returned to the conversation, this time defending Lamont Roach. He said Davis chasing Paul instead of giving Roach his rightful rematch showed Tank was drifting from legacy into cash grab mode. Hearn suggested Davis might even be half checked out of boxing, chasing money over glory. And the danger, Hearn warned, is bigger than one fight. If young contenders keep losing chances to social media spectacles, the whole sport suffers. His tone wasn't nostalgic, it was professional. If boxing keeps letting influencers leapfrog legit fighters, the pipeline dries up. Hearn's warning was simple. Today's cash grabs will ruin tomorrow's boxing.
Second fight, he impressed me. So, it's kind of hot and cold. So I know there's going to be a third fight. It has to be a third fight. And I think that fight's going to be the best fight of them all. Because
even Stephen A. Smith, who's not even a boxing guy, couldn't stay quiet. He slammed the event as a circus. And when mainstream voices outside the sport start mocking it, you know the damage is real. Smith's rant showed how far boxing has fallen in public perception. Once seen as a pinnacle of discipline, now viewed as sideshow drama. His words cut deep. If outsiders see boxing as a joke, maybe insiders need to ask themselves whether they still recognize their own sport.
Because both of them will be going for it.
Is there any middleweights you'd like to see these guys kind of, once they're done with each other, is there a kind of a front runner for you at least?
Devin Haney also found himself pulled into the discussion. While Shakur Stevenson chases unification and legacy, Tank chasing Jake Paul feels like pure disrespect. 4. Haney and Stevenson, guys who want to build their names a hard way. Davis says move is a betrayal. Their frustration was quieter, less dramatic, but it exposed a generational divide. The young lions want merit. Tank wants money. And that divide shows how dangerous this trend is. If spectacle matters more than legacy, true champions get pushed aside.